All right, so I'm gonna do this. This is kind of like a little bit of follow up of one of Chrissy's latest videos, and Sarge's. Uh, Chrissy did a response video to the light skin, dark skin, light chick that is not that light, but people think she's dark. Whatever that chick. Um, and I said in the comments like I have noticed a lot less light skinned girl guilt. I've noticed a lot more chicks, especially average chicks that ain't even that popping, quote on the rapper's lines and you know, just more self promotion. Like a lot less light skinned girl guilt. Just every day I seeing them and more embracing themselves and again, she look better red and they got a picture of themselves and stuff like that. But they ready to compete. But you see all these pictures above. I was listening to a podcast from two chicks that's in my city. They basically interview a lot of people who are young and they're doing things. A lot of it's around the social life as far as DJing, comedians, rappers, um, bartenders, whatever you name it, strippers. They've interviewed Mickey Moscato, one of Chris Brown's little thoughts. She's from Niagara Falls. She's a stripper. But they basically interview people who pop in and coming on. But one of the shows recently, they had an interview with us. It's the one in the middle, the one with the tattoo on her arm, she big ass forehead. She now as I'm listening to the podcast, mind you, I'm assuming this chick is black. Now that I looked at her pictures, I had to look everything up because I was listening, saying like, oh, this was interesting. Some of the things she said, but I don't know. I don't know what she is. If she's mixed, biracial, Puerto Rican. It looks like a lot of the girls are either biracial or some type of Puerto Rican or the very very lighter skinned black girl or black and Puerto Rican girls. It just seems like that's her clique. But on her on the podcast, she was promoting her show, her business, which is basically Pretty Girls on the Rocks. Not Pretty Girls Rock, but Pretty Girls on the Rocks. They're bartenders who like they get club appearances and stuff like that. Like if people having a party, a stag or whatever, they buy the girls to bartend. It's not unsexual about it. They buy the girls to bartend. They've done photo shoots at like car shows and people ask them to stand up on the cars. They just do events like that and they try to make it a one-stop shop where you can get your flyers, your DJ, your alcohol, and then have the girl serve at the event all in one spot. So that's the whole point of her little business. But I think she said she was like 27 years old, and this is her thing. But one of the things she said was like in the interviewing process, they asked her about like how do you get on and what is the rules, regulations, how does it work, and the chick pretty much said like, yo, it's like any other business, any other corporation. Everybody can't come. That's the whole point of me doing this video because I don't know if that's real or not. It seemed like there was a petition. Someone sent it in Black Dysphoria on Facebook. I thought that was Sarge's page. I don't know how that works, but they were saying that someone tried to ban or protest against, or what was it? They wanted to boycott Chrissy's DDS because it wasn't exclusive to light skinned little girls and stuff like that. And I'm thinking like stuff like that is stupid. And I'm saying situations like this are to point to when you say, like they promote themselves too, so why can't you promote yourself? It almost reminds me of like how you'll see a person like Reverend Wright, the black liberation theologists who talk about separation, not segregation, but separation, and black people should do this because in context there's not a lot of opportunities from the dominant culture given in certain areas. So, and then they go on Fox News and say that you got Hannity or somebody saying, well, that's racist. Like, no, like they're doing that because the dominant culture is not really messing with black folks, so they got to go off and do their own thing. So, and that's kind of some of the arguments you hear where some of the darker skinned women want to promote themselves, or at least the more that it happens, you will see this happen. You will see more pushback, more backlash, more kumbaya, and it's still split because you do have a lot of these sisters who they're just women. I guess they're just socially engineered that way. They are kumbaya, and everybody is not. They don't recognize sometimes the competition. A lot of times they just fall back in a place and let them get outshined. I remember the first video that Chrissy and Sarah did together. Like she was saying, she was doing all the same things. Like trying to include everybody, and she was including people. I remember she said that the chick Lonnie from The Talk or whatever that show is was attractive, and I'm like, this chick serious? Like, she lost her what's pretty privileges, like her opinion of what pretty is. She said Lonnie was attractive. I got what she was saying. She was saying that Lonnie looked better than Tamar because Tamar, looked like Fraggle Rock, and she keep freaking with her face, surgeries and whatnot. But she was just giving people beauty that didn't deserve it. But back then she was being more like kumbaya, and everybody can be involved and whatnot. But I say all that to say this. One of the things the chick said in her interview was like, yeah, she gets criticisms because there's not enough brown girls and not enough this, not enough that. And I did, again, at the time, I assumed the chick was black. She was dropping a lot of M-bombs. I don't know how that works. We in New York. I guess she might be Puerto Rican. They can just say it. So I didn't know what her race is. I still don't know. I'm assuming she's Puerto Rican or maybe she's mixed. But if you look at the girls in the pictures and all that, this is the ones that I see on her team. And this is who she wants to promote for her business. And it's her thing. So it's like, yeah, game on. Like, why not compete? Why not have pretty girls on the rocks with women who you think have your standards or whatever? Again, one of the things that was funny too on a show where the chick she was being like blatantly honest as she possibly can, because for the women who might want to be on, like she even said that even if you're pretty and attractive, that's not enough because you got to have the personality too. She said she's had to turn down some of the more attractive women than the ones she got because they had no personality and they didn't know how to talk and communicate with people. Like she said you don't have to be a good bartender, but you do have to be attractive and have some type of personality to communicate with the customers. That's how you get your tips and whatnot too. So it's like whatever. But she broke it down saying like it's like any other corporate job. You come for an interview, you have to look the part, you have to be in shape, yada yada yada. And they were talking about, I guess, I don't know, midriffs or sundresses or whatever. And the one co-host, because there's two co-hosts and they're not thin chicks. She said like, yeah, y'all shouldn't, like big girls shouldn't be wearing it. She kind of pushed back a little bit, saying that they're in, but the lady that's getting the interview, she wasn't saying that they weren't in. She was saying that big girls should not be wearing them. So it was just funny, that little pushback she gave her, like saying, yeah, they are in, but she's like, they in, but y'all shouldn't be wearing them. So much, in so many words, she was saying that. But I'm going to leave a link to their, to the Pretty Girls Rock Instagram. You can check out the pictures of the girls. I will leave a link to the Salon Talk podcast if you want to check out their whole thing. They did have a discussion about a lot of stuff. I am going to rip a clip from the episode where they were talking, though, and how she was talking about how to get on and the criticism she gets. And it's interesting too, like, some people want to demand that people give them representation and give them promotion. It's like, it don't work like that. I talked about that in the video with Blackish trying to address colorism and promotion and whatnot, and how sometimes the opportunities for people to do what they want to do are limited. It's still a job. It still has to be approved by their bosses, things like that. So I don't know. It's just interesting. Hearing a woman say like, yeah, I get those same criticisms. I get critiqued for not having enough fat girls. I get critiqued for not having enough brown girls. And she said brown, not dark skin either. So even if she had more brown girls, I don't think she would probably even pick darker skinned black women. I don't know. But I'm understanding more the whole promotion validation thing in the last few years. I would say more than anybody that, because there's a lot of people say these conversations are stupid and they're dumb and they shouldn't matter. And I'm not even going to be on that. I'm not nowhere near as strict or as far as Chrissy or Rashida Stolber as far as, the choices that guys make and judging them by that. I'm like, that sounds a little bit desperate and a little, insecure. You need to get over that. Go get therapy. But I do support, a situation like DDS or Black Women's Self-Promotion. Absolutely. And more should recognize it is a competition. Whether you competing or not, it's a competition, So maybe that'll help you realize, because, again, when someone pushes back and says, why aren't you being more inclusive, you show them situations like this where it's like, that's not what I'm here for. And I'm unapologetic about it. But if I wanted to promote something with black men, I damn sure ain't about to have a bunch of Drake skin dudes inside the promotion. Like that's just not what I'm gonna do, right? So, women don't think like that for some reason. Sisters don't think like that. They have more of a kumbaya. Can't we all just get along? Yeah, it is what it is. But check out the clip and listen to what she had to say on her business and her how she picks her girls and whatnot, and the complaint she gets for not having enough brown girls or fat girls too. I should reach out, try to interview her. I might do that because it was funny too. I remember when Beyonce did the whole uh, Super Bowl thing, and there were articles from fat chicks that were mad because Beyonce did not represent fat girls in that space. I'm like, are you serious? Like, it wasn't about you. Like, but it's crazy, like how man, you can't do anything nowadays with all this social justice stuff and everybody feel entitled to have a piece of what you build and create. It's weird. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. One reason that one situation, one group that made me recognize how much and how important promotion is more than anybody is white men, not white women, white men. Because when you look at even when like in video gaming or in comic books, when people start trying to play social justice warrior and changing characters' sexuality, their race, their gender, they feel it. You remember when Star Wars came out, a lot of dudes was not feeling Finn being the main character until they realized he wasn't nothing but a dummy, a simp. But like just stuff like that, even fictitious characters are problematic for them because they're used to having these images because they use them. And in reality, yes, this is when you look at nerds and gamers and things of that nature, they weren't, represented or they didn't have promotion, so they went off and did their own thing. And now that you have corporate America involved, they're trying to change the images of those things, and there's a pushback too. And I understand it. They're the most whiniest people when it comes to that situation. And certain things like they're doing, like making straight characters gay and all that stuff is stupid, and their storyline doesn't make sense. I get all that, but for example, the new Spider-Man, they're changing out the whole situation, and Zendaya's gonna be Mary Jane. And I looked around, looked at a lot of the white dudes I'm subscribed to that are into comics or into video games, and look at their take, and they pretty much were on the same point, saying she better do a good job. She better do a good job, like But some were admitting, like that the whole redhead freckled Mary Jane type, like that was something that the author of that comic made a standard of beauty. He used that character to put her on, and she's not like curly hair redhead women or even red hair dark skinned white girls. They're not the standard of beauty. They're not the dominant culture's image of what they look at. So I'm saying I get it when the white boys are like, yo, you're changing her look and we don't like that. So that means you better do a good job on playing her role. But that's just an example of they chose to promote what they felt was attractive. And then you got all these feminists and whatnot already critiquing the images in video games and things of that nature. But I'm like, well, this is their shit. This is what they chose to create and market. This is what they thought was attractive in their minds or whatever. And the images, then they go to the whole argument these images are unrealistic or whatever, but it's like, okay, look at the superhero dudes too. They don't look like normal men either, but it is what it is. They chose to, because they weren't getting represented the way they wanted to, or they didn't see what they wanted to see in the media, they made a platform for themselves, and they put images in it. Unfortunately, when corporate America gets involved in it, and you don't own it, they can change it and do whatever they want to do to it. But that's my take. But yeah, more than anything, white dudes have showed me more how important validation is and representation in the media is. Because when you don't see it and you see less of it, they start feeling some type of way more than white women. White women are making articles like the one chick who wrote the article. She's tired of seeing, other white women in these roles. She was in regards speaking to Scarlett Johansson in the movie, whatever that movie was, Lucy. Right, how that article came out of that movie because she was saying, like, how privileged are you to say we don't need any more representation in film? We're good, right? That's where they're at. That's different.
us. So when I came up with the idea of doing it, I was like, dang, I need a name. So I called my brother and my sister on the three-way. And it was like, hey, they was like, why are you calling us on three-way? What happened? Somebody died. What happened? I was like, no, I got this big idea, and I need you guys to come up with a name, and I need it now. Like, I don't want to wait, like, a month, 2 months, 3 months. I'm doing this today. They like, today? What are we doing? So I told them. I was like, right now, go. Start telling me names. So my sister was, like, giving me, like, a million names. My brother was giving me a whole bunch of names, because they was going to, at first it was going to be called, bartenderonis or something like that. And I was just like,
He came up with that. The dude came up with that.
Yes, my brother. And I'm like, bartenderonis. I don't know about that. It was just a whole bunch of names. And my sister came up, Pretty Girls on the Rocks. And I was like, she was like, you know, like on the rocks, like drinks. And I was like, oh, because she said Pretty Girls Rocks. And she was like, you know, Pretty Girls Rocks. And she was like, well, we go Pretty Girls on the Rocks. So I was like, dang, somebody got that. I know somebody got that, because that is a really nice name.
Right.
And it's 1 million bars. So I'm like, it's probably a bar named that or something. So my sister went on the site, why we coming up with more names, and was like, it's not gone. It's there. Nobody took it. I was like, really? She was like, no, but that means tomorrow. Because I just spit it out, somebody going to take it. That means you got to do something tomorrow. Tomorrow came. I went right downtown, and I hurried up and got that DBA and got that name taken right off, and there it was. And then from there, within no time, like I'm talking about, y'all, 30 days,
wow,
I did this. I'm talking about, I came up with a logo, a name, a color.
Wow.
That was going to be one of her questions?
No, that's how this happened in 30 days.
30 days.
Like, no time. 30 days. So now, the 30 days was just the logo, the name, and everything like that. But now, I can't just push out there Pretty Girls on the Rocks if it ain't no pretty girls.
Right.
Be like, Pretty Girls on the Rocks, but I'm the only person.
Just me.
It's just me.
I'm the only pretty girl.
Right. It's Pretty Girl on the Rocks. Right. Pretty Girls on the Rocks. Because at first, that was another thing.
Yeah.
We came up with Pretty Girl on the Rocks. And I was like, So we kept going back and forth. And I was like, guys, it's not one girl. They was like, but still, Pretty Girl on the Rocks. I was like, no, Pretty Girls on the Rocks, because I'm going to have a lot of girls. They was like, okay. So we decided on that. But so there now, I had to recruit and find pretty girls. That was the whole purpose. I can't call this Pretty Girls and then just pull anybody because you bartend and then you ugly. Or, you know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest here.
That's
you know?
true.
And I'm not hating. I love everybody. I think everybody's beautiful.
You got an image, though.
think everybody's for
image
pretty
to
girls?
uphold.
No, they're not. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody on this station watching. But that's the truth. You know, the first year is a make or break.
Right.
You know, and that's with any business. You know, your first year could be the end of you. The first year could be the boom. And I had to think about that. Right now, nobody caring about if we can make a rum and coke. Nobody care if we know how to make a Cosmo. But them looks, they care about that. You know what I'm saying? So that was what I did within 30 days of launching a name and everything like that. I didn't put it out there yet. And then from there, I had to assume, get a crew together. And then it was within 60 days, I was already putting out a flyer saying we're about to have a launch party. And then from the launch party, I got more girls, and then it was over after that. And it just went on.
What's the recruitment process?
Yeah, what's the recruitment process? And how many has it got to now?
And do all of them know how to bartend?
No, everybody knows how to bartend. Every last one. It's 9 of us. Everybody knows how to bartend. We don't have the same crew when I first started because, of course, it's been 6 months. So, it's never going to be the same.
Right.
Some people left and I got some new girls. Just like I got 2 new ones that's about to start. So now I am going to start recruiting girls that don't know how to bartend. Because of the fact that the doors that's opening for us is not all bartending.
Okay.
We just did the car show for
awesome
at the convention center.
Oh,
we did the Buffalo Auto car show. We didn't make any drinks. They hired us to actually walk around and take 1 million pictures next to these beautiful exotic cars.
Awesome.
And we walked around, gave out our cars. We took a ton of pictures. People were stopping us like, can you stand in front of this Ferrari? Can you stand in front of this Porsche? Can you stand in front of, this brand new Lexus is about to come out in the summer, but we need you to take a picture. Like, we would be like, oh, excuse me, we sorry we walked in front of your picture. No, you make our picture look better. So it got to the point we had took so many pictures. We're like, dang, we don't know none of these people that's going to be posting our pictures. But we're like, hey, like, you going to see Pretty Girls on Rocks here. Take a card and, tag us or something. Yeah. So it got big like that. So then, the idea came, like, what if we just use you guys for promotional events. And I said, well, if I'm going to do that, then I don't have to go as hard as to looking for girls and through bartend. I can actually have a crew, and all of them have different things. Some know how to do all of it. Some are better at just doing drinks because they're not that friendly to do promotions. And some don't really know how to make drinks and are excellent at promotion.
Right.
So that's my idea now, is to find different girls, because my idea is for us to push, because when we were there at the auto show, we talked to a guy that owns NASCAR. So they have a NASCAR, that's going to start in May. And he asked, he talked to us and said that he would call us and everything like that. So hopefully we're hoping that he hires us for even, I don't care if we got to do the flag when it's ready, set, go. Yeah. But you don't need to make a drink for that. You know what I'm saying? So,
So Pretty Girls Rock's been booked in different area
codes.
Her
if she say the name one more time.
Pretty Girls Rock.
Pretty Girls on the
Rocks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Pretty Girls on the Rocks.
Yeah.
Booked in different area codes. So hit her up, guys.
Hit me up.
That is amazing.
That is amazing.
Now, so how many of you? You said it's about 9 of you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it'll be 11 soon, but
we
gotta wait, make it solidified.
Okay,
they signed some contracts.
Okay,
because I do definitely do contracts.
So that's what we're saying. What about the recruiting process? So is there an interview? Is it more than you? Who decides?
Do you need
I am
pictures?
Headshots?
Send them headshots.
No, it's true. But I'm like, I don't want to laugh because I'm like, I don't know if I should laugh because I'm serious.
I think it's fun.
It is
because
no,
I'm thinking,
interview,
what do you do when the headshot's not so pretty?
No, then I tell them, thank you for. It's just like a regular job. If you try it out for not being funny, but if you try it out for the corporate world and they're looking for a certain look, they're gonna tell you, I'm sorry, but what that email say? I apologize.
Thank you.
We
for
had
applying,
a lot of interviewers right now, but some were more qualified than you. Thank you so much for applying. But maybe you should apply again in the near future.
That's all. Well, you grow into your looks.
Right. So I'm saying, I don't necessarily say that, but I'm saying it's just like with any job, everybody's not going to fit the bill. And I'm not, discriminating or anything like that. I mean, people may take it that way, but I went to Atlanta to a I want to say it was like a sports bar. It was. And if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me. I'm pretty sure, I'm about 90% sure it was a place called Scores. I don't know if you guys have been.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
I
think I heard of that.
So nice. First of all of the girls had flat stomachs. I'm talking about not even, I probably couldn't, you could pinch a little bit on me. You couldn't pinch nothing on them. And I was like, that's kind of crazy to me how everybody has a flat stomach and are wearing half shirts. Like, is that like is that something that you guys have to? She said that when they signed up, they had to sign something stating that they could not gain more than so many pounds or they would be let go. That was a recruitment. So I thought to myself, and this was right before I decided to do Pretty Girls on the Rocks. I said to myself, well, why is it that I get so much flack? Because I get flack that I don't have a big girl or what's the big deal? Some people say something about me not having brown skin girls. But I swear to goodness, y'all, when I tell you, I have interviewed brown skin girls and 2 of them, I have actually gave them a job. It is not my fault that
it just happened like
after I gave them the job, they did things that I don't accept.
Right.
I don't want to feel like, when I hire somebody, I have to police your Facebook page. I don't hire nobody that's 15, 16. They're all 21 and up.
Right.
So if I have to police your Facebook page, you are not for Pretty Girls on the Rocks. I don't want to have a girl on my team that is talking about, their vaginal parts or giving, different, fellatio and everything like that.
Oh, my God.
If you're on there doing those things, that I'm not the person for you. But nowadays, jobs don't hire you.
Right.
They look at your Facebook page first.
Yep.
So that's why I kind of get a little upset when people jump on the page and we have pictures up and they be like, why ain't no brown skin girls? And it takes everything out of me because I'd be like, well, you know what?
Tell some brown girls up.
If you were a brown skin girl, they would not be asking you that.
No, they would say, why you don't got no light skin girls? It's always going to be something. I'm never going to be able to please everybody. Right. I got girls that aren't big, big. They'll say, well, why ain't no big girls? And I'd be like, well, first of all, I don't have anything against big girls. You know what it is? Our clothes is a problem. And I tell people that, listen, I'm not being discriminatory when it comes to that, but it's just that it's a certain uniform. I'm never going to make somebody feel uncomfortable if I say, hey, we're wearing, a half a shirt with a blazer. how I'm gonna tell her? Well, not you though.
You get
can't
a whole
wear
shirt.
that. You're gonna have to show, but that's not fair.
Well, you know the big girls is wearing their midriffs these days.
They should.
They are.
Yes, they are.
You sure right, but some of them shouldn't.
Some of them shouldn't.
So,
I'm just saying. The
I'm
midriffs
just
are
saying,
in.
just because they out there don't mean you should do it.
The midriffs are in.
Some
So
of them look nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So you okay. So you're Pretty Girls on the Rocks.
Sipping my tea. Because I don't know what she about to say.
No, really, it's
Okay,
no, it's not. You know,
Okay.
It's not that time yet.
No, it's not that time yet. So we're all about brains and beauty. So aside from you being pretty, what else do you guys have going on? Like, what a couple of their like, what do they do besides Pretty Girls on the Rocks?
The
You know
other
what I mean?
girls? Are you talking about
Yeah,
Pierre, or do we
you,
have
them.
Oh, well, I'm a life insurance agent.
Okay.
I actually am a licensed life insurance